Hello, I'm Julia Harris, author of Pet Loss, A Spiritual Guide. What makes my pet loss book different is that I interviewed religious leaders from around the world, Eastern and Western religions, and asked how do they counsel their members on pet loss and pet death? Do they believe that pets and animals have souls? And I wrote it in chapter 10 of this book so that people of all religions and all spiritual beliefs not only can learn how their religion considers pet loss and if pets have souls, but they can learn how other religions around the world look at it as well. Very interesting. Today we're going to read a little bit out of chapter 10, Pet Loss and Spirituality, and this is on page 166. You cannot discuss the subject of death without referring to spiritual beliefs. In most religions, we hope to unite with our deity and become divine in order to be granted an afterlife. All the religions of the world have sacred teachings regarding death. Death is a magnet that pulls us closer to the divine through our spiritual practice. Modern-day religious practitioners with animal companions have introduced the question of what organized religion can do to help the deeply mourning. In some cases, a person asks a member of the clergy for compassion and counsel. The different viewpoints described here provide a more universal and cross-cultural look into the ideology modern organized religion holds concerning the subject of pet death, grief for a pet, and how to counsel pet loss. Now there's many religions covered, but we're going to focus on just a couple of popular ones. If you would like to read about the others, you certainly can purchase Pet Loss: A Spiritual Guide. Buddhism. The goal of the practitioner is to lead all sentient beings to supreme freedom, an irreversible state of bliss that frees us from all suffering and its causes. In accepting this goal, the individual begins upon a path of spiritual development. Buddhism believes that all sentient beings have countless rebirths. It is through this teaching that the practitioner considers all sentient beings, including animals, as having been mothers who have shown us great kindness. In our present life, we may not recognize them as our previous mothers, since we and they have been reborn into new life forms, but they have been our mothers many, many times and will continue to be. Tibetan Buddhists believe that all sentient beings deserve kindness and the best care to keep them happy and healthy. There is a tradition in Tibet wherein individuals purchase animals that are about to be butchered and keep them instead as domestic pets. Saving the life of one animal is considered to bring great healing to a sick person. Holy shrines and temples in Tibet frequently are crowded with individuals walking their animals, since it is thought that an animal who sees a religious image or hears the sounds of prayers or teachings will obtain the most favorable rebirth. All sentient beings, whether human or animal, are believed to eventually attain the state of supreme freedom, Buddhahood. This is possible because the consciousness is ultimately separate from the defilements that in this life prevent the attainment of that state. Buddhists understand the grief a person feels when a pet dies, but do not recommend dwelling upon sadness. They often suggest conducting religious practices, saying prayers, and casting wishes to benefit the animal's cycle of rebirths and spiritual development. Let's talk about Christianity. The Christian Bible or New Testament does not contain any references to pets. It does, however, contain references to animals in general. There are an abundance of Bible scriptures that support animals having souls and enjoying an afterlife with us. Here are a few. Psalm 36:6 Psalm 145:9, and Psalm 11:24. God's mercies are for every living animal he has created, not just humankind. God saves both man and beast. He hateth nothing that he hath made. Luke 3:6. All flesh shall see the salvation of God. And in Luke 12:6, Jesus Christ said of the birds of the air that, quote, not one of them is forgotten before God. 1 Corinthians 15:44 tells us, the body is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. If there is a natural body, there is also a spiritual body. Now, if you are Catholic, I have a section on Catholicism. And there's something very interesting that happened. Pope John Paul II, during the World Environment Day in 1982, said that St. Francis's love and care for creation was a reminder for contemporary Catholics not to behave like dissident predators where nature is concerned, but to assume responsibility for it, taking all care so that everything stays healthy and integrated, so as to offer a welcome and friendly environment even to those who succeed us. The Pope also wrote on the World Day of Peace, January 1st, 1990, as a friend of the poor who was loved by God's creatures, St. Francis invited all creation, animals, plants, natural forces, even brother sun and sister moon, to give honor and praise to the Lord. The poor man gives us striking witness that when we are at peace with God, we are better able to devote ourselves to building up that peace with all creation, which is inseparable from peace among all people. These are just a couple of examples. I give a lot of examples from Scripture in this book in which God grieves for all he created when she is no longer to physically live. God values living creatures he designed equally. So if you're interested in learning more about the scriptures that state that, you certainly can get a copy of Pet Loss, A Spiritual Guide. I also cover Hinduism, the Jewish tradition, as well as Unitarian Universalist, and many, many more spiritual beliefs. If you would like to learn more or purchase, Pet Loss, A Spiritual Guide comes in both Kindle and paperback. I have left the product links in the video description box under the video to Amazon.com. You can expand that text box, click on the Amazon.com product link, read more, and purchase. I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching.